We had to go live today because we have some conflicts tomorrow. So we won't be able to kind of go live and chat with you guys for Tequila Tuesday like we would like. But should probably be back on pace for Thursday
Thursday or Saturday, right?
and or we'll see.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
doing the
see.
best we can with the shows,
Yeah,
y'all.
it's a lot of yeah. We're busy, but as we always want to start the show off, we want to say, stay stacking, stay stacking, stay
Hmm.
stacking, stay stacking your satoshis
Hmm.
and your ounces,
For sure.
and anything else that you may be invested in. Today we want to is a great day.
Hmm.
We see Bitcoin just blast through all time high,
Hmm.
and then now we got some room to run.
It's sitting sweet at 72,000.
Yeah, and there's no, and like we say, technicals for people who do technical analysis or involved in technical analysis. There's no top to the chart, and that's a great thing. There's
Hmm.
no top to the chart, and if all-time highs had been I can't say speak it,
Resistant.
resistance, then once you break the resistance, then you could flip it to support. So the former all-time high can now be support, and that's a great thing. So we great. All our Bitcoiners, that man, we out here. It's a great thing.
Everybody celebrating and
Yeah.
cheering.
Yep.
Um, so while we're cheering and while we're celebrating, we did want to make a few little points to keep us grounded, I guess, give us more depth, more breath into the whole world of Bitcoin. So I named the show Bitcoin Jubilee because I don't know how many of you are aware of the original biblical Jubilee
Mm-hmm.
and its purpose. And so I didn't butcher it. I did actually kind of sort of look it up. Um, but I'm worried that I got rid of it. Anyway, the Jubilee, the year of the Jubilee, it happens every 50 years. It's a time of economic rest, cultural rest. Slaves are no longer slaves, they get their freedom. Land is to be restored to the owner. Doesn't matter if it's in the middle of a lease or a mortgage or anything like that. At that 50th year, all things are restored to its original, let's say, factory reset,
Mm.
right? So you are originally free, free you shall be. Your land now belongs back to you. Debts are canceled, forgiven, so on and so forth. So, Aaron, why are you bringing that up? One, we always talk about Bitcoin and its intrinsic value, one of them being freedom, right? And we can kind of see in the way Bitcoin performs. I am going to talk to you guys today, not only economically, but I'm going to talk to you spiritually, right? Because this world is not just a physical world that we live in,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is more than the tangible physical environment that your eyes kind of put the information together and your brain tells you that this is what the reality is. Two, the powers that be, the elite, they, all of those people at the top, they spend a significant amount of time and money manipulating that reality.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about being grounded, Professor Simon and Professor Simon want to just kind of remind you guys of a few things, or maybe shift your mindset, shift your reality a little bit so that you can kind of see things for what they actually really are.
Yeah.
So I know we're preaching to the choir when we say to get involved in Bitcoin, dollar cost average your way in so that you can mitigate the volatility of an asset that performs the way it does. Um, but on a spiritual level, you want to tap into abundance and prosperity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's exactly what Bitcoin has and continues to demonstrate. It's true abundance and true prosperity. Why do we call it true abundance and true prosperity? Because it's something that man cannot manipulate. It's something that man cannot get his grubby, grimy little fingers on to try to harvest or harness or hoard the the wealth of it for himself. Okay. So the world that we live in is designed to program you into believing that everything is in lack and everything is scarce, right? They want you to feel like, oh, we can't find a house in this market. We can't find an apartment in this market. I know there are a lot of people earlier in the year were complaining that there were no apartments available within reasonable cost of living um,
Yeah,
price parameters.
price parameters, and also let's talk about when you talk about scarcity in a city, uh, our most major city that's about an hour away, Mexico City. Apparently, there's a lack of water.
Yes, they're running out
Apparently,
of
that's what
water.
they're saying. They're running out of water in Mexico City, which is the largest city amongst population in the Western Hemisphere,
Hmm.
right? So now there's a lack of water,
Clean water, water that you can,
potable, what they call
potable
potable
water that you
water.
can ingest.
Yeah, and so that man does, they do that.
Yeah, and they're also lacking right now non-potable water as well.
Yeah, non-potable water. So potable just means something you can ingest.
Hmm.
Non-potable, you still, for your toilets and what else, your
Yeah,
showers and
washing
things
your
like that.
car, stuff
Yeah,
like
that
that.
stuff like that. So that's Mexico City. They're running out of water as the reports say.
If you did your research on Singapore, they're going to show you the quality of living, not
Oh
not the
man,
wealthy people, the
that's
quality of living your average resident in Singapore has, right? They are living in what we call like cages. And I'm bringing that up because when you do your actual research,
yep.
only 3% of Singapore has developed areas to live. The rest of it's undeveloped, meaning it's just grass, trees, et cetera, et cetera. So what they do is they purposely create lack. They purposely create scarcity. And what they're doing is they're programming you to move in a form of lack, to move in a form
Yeah.
of scarcity. When you go to the supermarket, there's not enough water. Like, let something happen and there's no water, there's no toilet paper.
Yeah.
We're noticing a shortage in this. My favorite this isn't available anymore, or the price is real high.
Mhm.
And it's all an illusion,
Yeah.
okay? Now, there is a juxtaposition between the world, and God. It's a huge juxtaposition. And I really want to kind of shape your mind on what Bitcoin really is outside of the economic aspects of it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is
Okay.
really where we're headed today.
Okay.
So let's take an apple, for instance, right? You have this nice red, delicious apple, and I'm not talking about Bill Gates' apple, right? We're talking about a natural apple that forms on the natural apple tree that has seeds in it, right? When you cut that apple open, statistically, one apple can have up to 10 to 12 to 15 seeds, right? So, are they 15 new apples? No, they're 15 new trees. And how it's explained is man can count the seeds inside of an apple, but only God can count the harvests that come from those seeds.
Yeah.
So you're talking 10 to 15 trees that are going to have multiple harvests, 20, 50, 60, 90 harvests. We have no idea how many harvests each apple tree can provide
And
every single harvest.
and let's go into that because, as you say, an apple tree
Hmm.
that would be low time preference.
Absolutely, because it
It's
takes a significant amount of time for the tree to form, for the
yeah.
harvest, the new harvest, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. But the idea is that, or the reality that I really want to share with you, the reality is the abundance of that seed.
Mhm.
Okay? So now let's talk about Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Tell your friends, tell your family. We're trying to orange pill people. People don't care. They're kind of caring now because Bitcoin is running and it's trending in news.
Yes, it is.
But from a spiritual aspect, so that's your economic aspect, right? From a spiritual aspect, aside from some of the freedom that more resources offers you, there is a spiritual aspect to you tapping in to abundance, right? You see how Bitcoin is just, it's running. Now, does it have its pullbacks? Yes, it does. there's always a contraction, right? There's a contraction in the market. You have contraction in your developmental growth, right? Some people go through their like party stage. So instead of you acting like an adult, you're acting like a teenager who just happens to have the privileges of an adult, right? There's a contraction in development. There's always a contraction in nature. Okay, so aside from the pullback, maybe your apple tree doesn't give you a harvest this year, but it gave you multiple great harvests previously, and maybe next year it's an even better harvest than you could have hoped for. So when people tell me stuff like, oh, well, what about the pullback and this, that, and the third? There's always a contraction in nature. Some people who are very fertile, can have a whole bunch of children, also experience loss. They experience miscarriages. It's contraction in procreating and creating your legacies. So don't let the contractions in life and nature spiritually, detract from looking at the reality of this thing. Now, I want to tell y'all something. When we talk about the gold standard, because originally, right, we're saying that Bitcoin is gold 2.0. The gold standard, right? When currency was tethered to gold, so forget just the US dollar, when currency in general was tethered to gold, gold would always account for all of the promissory notes that were out in, what would you call it, baby? Out in circulation. That's the word I was looking for. Right? That is what gold's job was. Y'all look up the history of it. When these promissory notes were tethered to gold, gold's job was to go out and account for all of the promissory notes in circulation, and that would keep inflation in check. That kept the money supply in check. It was a check and balance. And people during that economic period were able to utilize profits and not need loans. Y'all do y'all research, especially Black communities in post-Reconstruction. Right. And now, that's just kind of America. You can look at other currencies in the world, but I just want to show y'all the mind game that they play with you. So I want you to understand what we have in Bitcoin. I don't have a link for you. I don't have what somebody wrote in the book. I'm telling you what I sit and I talk to the Lord about. I'm telling you what I sit and I meditate on. I'm telling you what I sit and I spitball with the other half of my brain. This is the other half of my brain, right?
Oh, thanks.
And that's how we power it. This whole brain is just half, that whole brain is half, and we come together and form like Voltron. Okay? And I just want you to look at it. And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I guarantee you sit down and think about it and like, she right as hell. Okay? So what they did was, and I just want to read this to you real quick. It says the gold standard is not currently being used by any country, right? We understand that. Britain, and I don't know how many people know this, but Britain officially ceased using the gold standard in 1931. Then the United States followed suit in 1933, partially. And it wasn't until 1971 that the system was totally abandoned. So what they did was they took prosperity out. Okay, the elite, whoever we want to call them, right? They took prosperity out of the equation for the normal people. Okay, and they gave you guys promissory notes. They gave the people promissory notes. But in reality, they had physical assets.
And that was our favorite president, Richard Milhouse Nixon, who took that off August 17th, 1971.
Right.
It was supposed to be
temporary. But you knew it wasn't going to be temporary.
It's still temporary.
You knew it wasn't going to be temporary because it gave them permission to create debt. And they keep telling you that our capitalist system, it works on debt. They want you to have the idea that this thing works on debt. And it's not that it doesn't, but it doesn't. It works for them on debt. It doesn't work for you on debt.
Yeah.
Right? And granted, I know that there are a lot of people out here who are teaching you how to turn your debt into free-flowing income. I am not talking about any of that. Right? I'm not teaching you how to use your debt and flip it and all of this other stuff.
No.
What I'm telling you is I want you to see the world and I want you to see what God had naturally intended. God had always intended abundance for us. He had always intended prosperity for us. Hence, writing in the Jubilee into the precepts and the principles that he gave his people. Yes, I understand that you guys are going to run this commerce thing because you want to run after the heathen nations. But at the 50th year, everything's reset. The land goes back to the original owner. I don't care if it's stuck in a lease. I don't care if it's stuck in a mortgage. I don't care if you lost that in a card game. It goes back to the owner. All debts are zero. All debts are forgiven. If you were in servitude to someone, you are now free because we are going to our original factory resets.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. I talked to you guys about the apple and how many harvests and so on and so forth. Now let's talk Bitcoin.
Before we get there, let's welcome the people in the room. I'm sorry.
I
can't really.
So I want to welcome Michelle. I had said hi quietly while Hubby was talking to Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. What's up, Michelle?
Brady Neal said, hit those likes. Wall Street Pickers said, the swarm is headed towards us. Satoshi Nakamoto, when WikiLeaks started accepting Bitcoin donations in 2011.
Yeah.
Brady Neal said, what's up, Wall Street Pickers? IML said, thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much, IML, for joining us.
Thank you.
And then Brady said, I think the one coin had about a fourth gold. Okay, he's talking about the English. I want to say that's the pound.
What did you say?
That the pound had about a quarter ounce of gold in it. But look, they were the first, and a lot of people don't talk about that, is they were the first to remove currency from the gold standard because they understood that what we'll do is we'll rack up all of the assets. We will keep our tangible assets that have actual value, and we will give the people promissory notes.
And the pound, just to speak on that, was when it was implemented, it was worth 12 troy ounces. So you could turn that in and get 12 troy ounces of gold. Now, I'm not gold. I'm sorry, that'd be bad.
12 ounces of silver.
Silver.
Yeah.
But now, if you see, the pound has lost 99% of its purchasing power since its inception.
Right.
So it's basically a zero.
So the elites have actual tangible assets that have actual value that can be backed. They buy gold, like they're not promissory notes. They're not worthless notes that they hand out to the people. Mm-hmm. They employ people with their companies. They go and they purchase real estate. They go and they purchase megatons of gold and silver and precious metals. They go and they purchase, other art, other portions of other people's businesses, like stakeholders and businesses and so on and so forth. And what they do is they turn around and they give their employees the worthless promissory notes. Okay, so what's the second part of the game? Second part of the game is we are going to program the everyday person who holds the majority of those promissory notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to teach them to consume, because we don't want them now getting in their mind that they're going to also want tangible assets because they know that their promissory notes are going to be worthless and are somewhat worthless, right? Because it's really an IOU. And this is the game that we have to kind of break from. Now, granted, it's a long time from 1933 to 2024. Okay, it's a very long time from that time. But this game has been in style for the devil. He does the same old tricks, right? He doesn't deviate from his tricks. The problem is that he spends a significant amount of time programming you to accept the tricks that he always creates. Okay, so with Bitcoin being in the 70s, it did kind of jar my memory to the Jubilees, right? Because it's 7 Sabbaths, right? So 7 Sabbaths, it really adds up to 49. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 Sabbath years, not 7 Sabbath Saturdays. 7 Sabbath years. So every 7 years is Sabbath year. The land's supposed to rest. The people are supposed to rest. We're supposed to separate it and keep it holy. So it's really 7 times 7 is 49. It's in the 72s. It brought me to the idea of the Jubilee because Simon and I, as the first family of Bitcoin, always talk about the freedom that comes along with Bitcoin. And what is some of that freedom? Y'all know how much anxiety and stress and cortisol levels come along with crushing debt, You owe this credit card company. I don't know if I have the rent on the first. What else? My car note. How many people hide from the car people?
Insurance.
Right? I'm driving. I don't have any insurance. If something happens, if I accidentally make a mistake, I could get my car impounded. I can go to jail. If I ruin public property by accident, it is an accident. That's what it's called. I can't afford homeowners insurance. A storm come through, destroy the house. There's nothing I can do about it.
Health insurance.
Health insurance. Can
really
I even
expensive.
afford to be healthy? Can I afford to be sick? It's not can I afford to be healthy.
Yeah.
Can I afford to get sick?
And you can't.
And they're manufacturing illnesses, right? What does Bitcoin do? Where's Aaron coming with all the abundance and prosperity in Bitcoin? We tell y'all all the time, Bitcoin is gold 2.0. And while at this point, it is not yet accounting for all the worthless dollars that are out, what it is going to do is going to save your purchasing power. Bitcoin is going to save your household.
Mm-hmm.
How? Sway, how? Max Kaiser has a great saying, so I do want to cite my source.
Yeah.
He says, now that Bitcoin has burst through 69,000, it has no top. And it has no top because fiat has no bottom.
Yeah.
They're just printing and printing and printing and printing. They don't even report the M2 money supply anymore, because if they really continue to report it, people would be up in arms about what Baby calls the hockey stick.
Yeah, hockey stick. Well, it's the way the chart looks. Like the chart's kind of flat, and then it goes straight up.
And this is like the entire history of the M2 money supply. Yeah. Starting in 2020, right? In 2020, they printed more dollars than they ever have in the history of dollars.
Correct? Yeah, that's where the hockey stick started.
Okay. You want to, on a spiritual level, tap into prosperity and abundance. Why am I saying that? Because they go out of their way to make sure you connect. I'm talking about tapping in. They want you to connect and identify with lack and scarcity.
Yes, they do.
All points of your life, from your relationship to your money, to your self-worth, to your self-concepts, to your self-esteem, right? They always want you to feel inferior, insecure. They want you to be fearful. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be stressed. They want you to be anxious. I am telling y'all, for those of you who are on here, there's always new people coming to our show trying to figure it out. They're scared to ask what is Bitcoin because they know that question is asked into perpetuity. And it does, for the Bitcoin space, they can get some what do you call it? What you say? Sometimes you say she's abrupt, not abrupt. She's brief.
Yeah.
Like when somebody's rude, curt. My husband uses the term curt. They can be curt, right? But ask us, start asking. Don't be afraid, right? We're trying to orange pill people, and every now and then we're not talking, approaching. We're trying to orange pill the right people.
It hit me up because I have a great Bitcoin book by what was his name?
Safety in the Most?
No, I don't. Not that one, because that's a book. But this is a free book I got from Swan Bitcoin, from the CIO. So I guess the chief investor operator. What was CIO?
Oh, chief information officer.
Yeah. So I have a free book. It's only 100 pages. It's real technical, but it's good to read. It's a good read. And it's free. So if you hit us up, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
So we have a resource there. I have a person. I don't want to say a young lady because it might be a guy. It says Tawana Mayo.
Okay.
Baby boomer here, Bitcoiner for 3 years, late to all of this. You're not late. That's the wonderful part about it, is you're not late.
Yeah, you're early, actually.
Right? Welcome.
You're early.
I'm glad you're here. We are happy to see you. We have hours and hours and hours of shows, but if you wanted to, let me skip that and just connect with you. Oh, guys, I do want to tell you this. Somebody hacked our freaking domain email. Y'all know that we had the email where we pay for the domain. So I'm trying to fight to get it back, or to get access back to it. So right now, in the drop down is a new email address. It's assets.arbitrage@gmail.com. I figured that was kind of easy. I don't know how long I'm going to be in a fight about getting my email back as a business owner, right? I'm tight about it. But Tawana Mayo, if I'm happy to chit chat with you, Simon's happy to chit chat with you. We do FaceTime appointments. I like to look at people in their face. I like them to see our face so everybody can see the transparency of the transaction, unless you are absolutely adamant about not being on camera, okay? You don't have to put makeup on for us. You don't have to go get your hair cut. You don't have to do anything special. But please don't be afraid to contact us and we can do a nice FaceTime chit chat to help you get where you're going. We are not financial advisors. We do not give financial advice, but honey, we are a family who have 4 children. 2 out of 4 of those children we have brought up to adulthood. We have a lot of experience. We have lived in multiple places in the world. And financially, we have found and figured out great ways to build legacy, to run businesses, to live a great cost of living, all while having the wealth mindset. I call it the Bitcoin mindset of self-control, discipline, and awareness.
Check. Somebody had something here. I couldn't read it quite.
So IML is dollar cost averaging in the Bitcoin and stacking sats.
There you go.
IML is wanting us to give some resources for those looking to be expats in the future. IML, I'm definitely going to get to that as soon as we're finished this one point. We're going to talk about expats because for us, we live in Mexico. You guys are looking at Bitcoin to USD. We are watching Bitcoin to MXN, right? We use the Mexican peso every day. So for those of you who are Forex traders, we Forex trade in real life, right? Every single day, every transaction. For our quality of life, we are Forex trading our US dollar against the peso. So for us, you guys are looking at 72,000 US dollars. We're looking at 1.2 million pesos. Can you imagine how that could change the average Mexican's life? Because they talk about the poverty here. 3/4 of the country are in dire poverty. And how life-changing 1.2 million pesos is for the average Joe running around here. And that's a whole Bitcoin, obviously. But even dollar cost averaging as Bitcoin is going up. So when it's doing the dance, let's say it's 72,104. And then it goes up to 72,006 or 700. You know how many tens of thousands of pesos that has gone up because the exponentiality from the peso to the dollar, it's life-changing. And this is why we are talking about a Jubilee. This is why we're telling you what God really meant by this is a place of abundance. There is no lack or scarcity in this realm. They create the illusion of it, but when you start pushing past that BS, you start to see, and your mind is going to change, that you do tap into abundance. You connect with abundance every time you dollar cost average in a Bitcoin. Every time we get a new piece of silver or gold, every time we get a new round or new ounces or however we're buying our precious metals, we are tapping into the abundance of the earth because that's where the precious metals are mined. Right? What do you do every day that taps into abundance? I am a woman who created 4 children, 4 sons for my husband. I am abundance, right? So our mindset doesn't work in lack. It doesn't work in scarcity. And in that, right, it's the law of attraction, you begin to attract abundance. You begin to attract prosperity. He is the king of a household with 6 people that he's responsible for. It feels like a kingdom to him. And he treats it as such. Right? So this is why we got to do real adult talk. I want to stop hearing all of those bullshit ass narratives. The men hate the women hate the men. The mothers mistreat their children. The children are being rude and disrespectful to their mothers or their fathers. We need to have real conversation. They keep putting those narratives out there because this is the conversation they don't want you to have. You bite into that apple, into that pear, into that orange. You bite into that watermelon with all of those seeds. Most of the things that come from the earth, you are connecting with abundance. You're consuming abundance. You drink water, and that water cleanses your whole entire body. Every 7 years, your cells regenerate. You have a brand new body every 7 years. Now, when you're our age, it don't feel like it. That knee don't feel like it regenerated in that 7th year. But if you really saw and understood how life works, you can push past their BS narrative and illusion that they want to give you to keep you in fear, to keep you desperate. They keep pushing those IOUs, those promissory notes on you. It's cash trash. People say that it is. I'm saying it has its utility because you do need fiat funds in order to get through certain very important transactions for your livelihood, for your cost of living, for your business, for whatever it is that you do. And right now, Bitcoin isn't a thing that you can use to pay for gas yet. It just isn't. Can't use it at the local UDF or your bodega or wherever you live at, whatever you call your corner store. You can't use it there yet. So in the meanwhile, we want to understand what those IOUs are in our pocket. Every time the United States sends large sums of money overseas to other countries, they are devaluing your dollar because your dollar is becoming weaker and weaker against weaker currencies at that.
Yeah.
And they're spreading them all over the world. And one day, those chickens are going to come home to roost and be almost worthless. And you're going to ask yourself, I had multiple opportunities to tap in, to save my purchasing power, to protect my purchasing power, to have impact on my purchasing power, to begin to grow my legacy, to be straight when I retire. If I'm in between jobs, did I take those opportunities? That's the question.
That is the question. And so, one thing she's talking about is the trifling dilemma. We went over that some episodes back, but it's basically saying when you have the U.S. dollar being the world reserve currency, you have to really send it out within the world, and you kind of hollow out.
Yes. You holler out your industries.
Yeah, and that's the trifling dilemma.
But now that you've hollowed out your industries, they're dumping your payment system. They're creating their own, aka BRICS nation, coming up with their own currency. Now what happens to the dollar? We're here in Mexico where the Mexican peso is considered a soft currency, and the United States dollar is a hard currency. But you have to see how soft this US dollar is against this soft currency.
Yeah.
It's constantly dropping. So the 95% discount that we had once enjoyed is now like a 60% discount and going, right? Going down, going down, going down. So we have the Bitcoin and precious metals to protect.
To protect that. You protect that purchasing power. And two, if you are going to be living abroad, you always have to be strategic and maybe ready to move to the next spot.
Right.
That is more it has better arbitrage.
It has right.
So
since you're asking about expats and just advice for expats,
we're big fans of El Salvador. El Salvador is doing it right. They're getting it done. El Salvador is getting it done. You go there. We went to El Salvador last year, and beautiful place. Beaches and stuff. It's really nice. Everybody's nice to you, and you get the option to pay with stuff with your Bitcoin if you feel like you'd like to. And it's a beautiful place.
It's Bitcoin friendly.
It's Bitcoin friendly, and the president
obviously is Bitcoin friendly.
He's Bitcoin friendly. But he's young and innovative, and he's forward thinking. So those are type of countries you do like to see. Mexico, the president is old, kind of just the president, kind of like Joe Biden, just the president. But these forward-thinking countries are great.
So Jake Fever, what up, Jake? That's our content.
What's up, Jake?
We're happy to see you.
What's up, Jake?
There's only 21 million Bitcoin. This is true.
Send me one.
But let's break Bitcoin down into its divisible units. How many Satoshis does it take for one whole Bitcoin? Somebody in the chat tell me how many Satoshis make a Bitcoin. You guys should know this off the top of your head, so I should see multiple people typing in this number or writing the word out. How many Satoshis make one Bitcoin?
Right.
Because I'm going to show you the abundance in that.
Oh, that's super abundance.
I'm going to show you the abundance within the scarcity, and that's how you know there's a divine. Thank you. Right? Twill line, man for hire, 100 million Satoshis make one Bitcoin. That's not abundant. Can any of you count from 1 to 100 million? I'll wait.
You know how long it's going to take.
So I'm showing you the abundance in scarcity. And that's something that only divinity can come up with. Well, there's only 21 million. There's 7 billion people. It's just not enough Bitcoin to go around. But it takes 100 million Satoshis to get to that one Bitcoin. There is enough to go around to those who are serious about the asset. Now, here's what I want to go back to. I told you that when the elite took gold off the standard and they started buying up assets, think about BlackRock, think about all of these companies that go out and they buy all of these assets,
investments.
right? And they give you, their employees, the everyday person, the W-2, the 1099, they give you guys the worthless IOU promissory notes while they have a real asset. They have programmed you to chase the promissory note. They haven't programmed you to chase the asset.
Right.
Bitcoin is an asset, it's a commodity. And they're saying to themselves, yeah, there's only 21 million, but the average person ain't gonna buy into it. Plus, we are gonna go out of our way to demonize the hell out of it. So anytime that it does trend, right, and it's doing well, we are gonna find ways to connect with the everyday person to kind of stay away from it until we can figure out how we can manipulate it to our use, for our agendas, for our objectives. Tap into that abundance, tap into prosperity. Anything that's divisibility is 100 million. You need to tap into that energy. Look how it's performing. Look how it's running. I want somebody in the chat to name an asset that even is similar to the performance that Bitcoin has given us since its inception.
You can't.
I'll wait.
You can't. And meanwhile, there's some people popping in.
Yeah, so let's read some of these. All right, I did get some people answer me after T. Will Line Man for Hire. Jake Fever say he loves Bitcoin going up. That's our content cousin, so we always shout out Jake. Jake has some great content for you guys. He knows a lot about, it's not considered a cognac, is it, Jake? Well, anyway, alcohol, right? You got Jake in the bar. He's got a lot of great content. He's an incredible guy. He's got a lot of knowledge, so you guys definitely tap in.
Shout out to Jake, man.
So shout out to our content cousin, Jake Fever.
Jake. Jake Fever, shout out.
Twill Line Man for Hire said, if it ever goes from 1 to 1 where y'all come back home, we will go to El Salvador. Pat Murphy, Biden says he will ban crypto by 2027. Unfortunately, Biden's going to lose by a landslide, Pat Murphy, because they changed the tax code and all of these head of households, all of these single moms owe the government money this year, which is the first year that many of them did not receive a refund for their children. A lot of homeowners are complaining that they didn't get the equity credits that they were used to receiving for home ownership and so on and so forth. He's not going to win. Jake, unless they do something, janky, then it's gonna be real janky. He let all of those people in the border. Nobody knows what the people are doing there. He's
too old to be president.
I ain't even gonna get into that part. What they did in Hawaii, it took them 13 days to get there. In Hawaii, or that island in Hawaii, I think it was Maui, damn near burned down. It doesn't have a lot of people backing them. And a lot of people who used to be on the Democrat train is seeing how the Democrats really are. And they're willing to take their risk on the Republicans. Okay, Brady Niels. I wonder if there was any demand to come off the gold standard. It would be hard to facilitate an economic system without a currency that could expand and contract any economic booms and busts. So, Brady, I'm not sure if you've ever read, is it The Creature?
Yeah, from Jekyll
From
Island.
Jekyll Island. I think it's the
Yeah.
creature, I would say the monster, but the creature from Jekyll Island.
Mhm.
Some of the information that's not in there, and this is why history is so important for us. During the post-Reconstruction era, right? So the slaves now, they were the skilled workers at the time because the Caucasians who owned them, they didn't really do anything. The slaves did everything. They had all of the mastery and all of the different crafts, whereas masonry, construction, agriculture, like almost every area and facet, the slaves had the mastery in, right? And while the slave owners would kind of like watch over it and look over it and stuff like
What do they
that.
call them?
Masons?
No, the people who look over the slaves. What do they
The
call them?
overseers?
Overseers.
Right? They
just
oversaw, but they didn't have the craft. Okay. So what happened once the slaves were free due to the Emancipation Proclamation and Juneteenth, blah, 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 we're now moving into what we call post-Reconstruction era. So during the post-Reconstruction era,
Mhm.
the slaves were allowed to work, right? Because now the white people had to hire them because they couldn't do anything themselves.
This is true.
They were paying them, right? So now they're skilled labor. Were they paying them a lot? Maybe, maybe not. But remember, at the time, the currency was on the gold standard, meaning the dollars, the gold did account for all of the dollars in that circulation. But they couldn't use white banks. So what happened? Black people had to create their own banks in post-Reconstruction. And that's where you got Black Wall Street and all of these other different booming systems, booming eras. Two, because the dollar had the gold standard to it, slaves didn't have to take loans out in order to scale up their businesses, in order to improve their homes, in order to do all of the things that they had envisioned to do for whatever it was that they did. And when white banks and the elite caught wind of that, what they had to do now was they had to create a system to force that money back into their circulation, one, and two, even with white people, we can't let the dollar be so strong because it's tethered to the gold that you don't need a loan.
Yeah, and
We need to get paid as the bank. We don't have any capital. We have to figure out a way to encourage capital.
and to interject, like she said, you have to force the money back into white banks.
You have to force the money back in the
So
white.
when we have a Black Wall Street, the way they force money back into a bank is by destroying
multiple.
communities.
There was multiple Black Wall Streets, meaning multiple communities were either bombed or flooded to where they drowned the people, they lynched them, massacred them, and that's there's that. But what they did have to do was they did come together to figure out a way to kind of blame it on the economy and force the everyday person to take out loans when they wanted to do something so that you can pay that interest back to the bank, so that the bank can have money in their possession that they can loan out and make money on that money that they didn't have, right? So understanding the kind of propulsion of that is where we are today with the M2 money supply being to the point where they don't even report it anymore, being promissory notes. But like I said, what I want y'all to catch is we got the promissory notes and they got the assets. And notice that they don't teach you in school about assets. People actually, when you start having financial conversations with them, they're uncomfortable. They want to make sure that the average person does not know how to manage their household. Why? Because for every house, there's 10 households, and one household knows how to manage that household, budgeting, creating money, not living in debt, right? And the other 8, the other 9 don't know how to manage the households. They make more money. Because money is misallocated, it's misspent, there's overspending, you're living above your means. We're gonna add to that, forcing you to consume. We're gonna add to that your self-value ain't nothing if you're not wearing Louis Vuitton or Prada or Gucci, if you don't have the nicest car, if you don't have the nicest house.
And we got to be honest. We was just speaking honestly as she speaks about consumption. Unfortunately, women are 80% of the consumers, right? So
I think the number's bigger than that.
huh? Is it higher now? Oh goodness, they consume more than the men,
Right.
Right. And so their commercials and things are advertisements
towards the women.
And so, like you said, Louis Vuitton and
The
these type of
fashion,
cars.
eating out. Right now, all of a sudden, I'm hearing women talking about the slavery to cook for your family. I don't know where that came from. Right? I don't know where the thought or the idea is like you're cooking because it's a skill you should have, and it's best for your family for you to create the food with love and to feed them. You don't know what that cook is having, and if he's having a bad day and he's slamming your food around, all that energy goes into your food.
That's
right?
a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal that the energy that's put into your food. It's like when back in the day you went to Big Mama's house and she put all that love into the meal, and that was the meal, right? You know what I'm saying? But now you don't know who, like she said, who's cooking your meal. You don't know what energy they putting into it. If he's having a bad day, you don't know if it's they don't even like you or something like that. So you don't know the energy that is be putting into the food that you are ingesting.
And that's just an aside, right?
Yeah,
but we're just saying that they make it a point to get you to spend, because when those promissory notes come to them, they trade those promissory notes in for assets, which is what we're supposed to be doing, right? We're supposed to be trading our promissory notes in for a Bitcoin. Right? That type of asset. If you guys are into real estate, that type of asset. Pat Murphy said, girl, that was a joke about Biden banning crypto. Oh, okay, my bad. I'm not there, so I don't get all of the rhetoric of what they doing, but they be doing crazy stuff. XRP is at prices we have not seen since July 2023. Way to go, Chief. We'll let him know. Outside of our echo chamber, y'all know they say we crazy. That's cool. You can call us crazy, but we're going to laugh all the way to the bank. Limitless Sports Blockchain is on fire. This is Urban Alien 247. Thank you so much for joining us. Garland Burney, thank you so much for joining us. Bitcoin is fool's gold, but don't be a fool. Not sure what that means, Garland, but I wanted to, just kind of make those points that our reality is full of abundance. It is full of prosperity. Everywhere you can see, everywhere the eye can see, right? If you stand on a mountain and you look down, the whole world is in front of you. That's abundance.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go to the beach, all the eye can see is that ocean of water. You look at the water, where the water meets the water, where the Gulf meets the Atlantic Ocean, and you can see where the two boundaries never cross over one another. That's how much abundance he has, that he can divide the seas, and they stay divided, right? So all we're saying is now, see where your Jubilee is now that you guys are getting a run on Bitcoin. I know this is a time of profit taking.
Yeah.
So you guys are taking profits.
There will be some profit taking.
Really plan, right? Have a plan for those profits. Does that mean they have to be productive? You have to run it back into something else? No, if you wanted to treat yourself to something, there's nothing wrong with that. Right? But what we're saying is no matter what money comes your way, where it comes from, the source it comes from, whether it's expected or unexpected, have a plan for that source of money. Always have a plan, definitely, for unexpected funds. Say, if I ever receive unexpected funds, this is what we do with it. This is how it gets dealt with, right? And you want to kind of start getting your mindset where you can begin to see in your world, the environment you live in, where is the abundance? We live on a mountain, so I can see the whole town from my veranda. Right? And I see abundance in that. When I look up in the sky at night, it's nothing but stars, nothing but stars. I know that's hard to see in densely populated areas and in cities and stuff like that, but I know the U.S. went through a lot of trouble to deseed fruits, right? Or they're dead seeds. I seen somebody cut open a watermelon and it had absolutely no seeds in it. And that looks crazy. It's like meeting a person who doesn't have a belly button. It would look crazy to you. Where did you come from? Right? And if you don't have a belly button, can you create another being? Like, what are you? So they are going out of their way to incorporate into your life every day to get you to try to connect with lack and scarcity. By doing that with the seeds, I don't know what else they're doing to you guys in the United States, but you know, when they're talking about the grid going down, AT&T had an outage. I don't know what their response or their explanation was for it. Meta went down,
Meta.
right? Instagram and Facebook went down. Had a lot of people thinking that somebody hacked into their accounts. Um, look for the prosperity in your life and tap into it whenever you find it.
Yes, indeed.
And you can do that just by dollar cost averaging in Bitcoin. You just tap it into prosperity, that energy all the way through.
Yeah.
And it's an energy of growth. It's an energy of development. It's an energy of economic growth, right? There's so many different aspects and energies to it. Is Bitcoin divine? I don't know. But the demonstration, what it demonstrates to me says, I think so. Because if man came up with that, it would have been janky as hell, and y'all know it.
Yeah.
It would have already proved to be janky as hell, and y'all know it.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, say that Bitcoin was discovered
It was
and
discovered and not created.
not invented or created. As she
Like
said.
physics, right? No one invented physics. Physics was here. They just began to unravel the different aspects of physics and discover this and discover that and so on and so forth. Let me see. Want to see what y'all are telling us? Oh, it's a lot of chatter. Hold on, I gotta go all the way back up.
We're just hollering at the people in the chat room, see what they're talking about.
Absolutely assets, but Bitcoin is not one. Bitcoin is absolutely an asset, but believe what you like to. As Jake would say, God for every man and everyone for God. You do you, Garland. You like Ripple? That's great. Then you go in. Big Watch Dude. Hey, beautiful black people. How are you treated by the native people there? What is the daily like?
Who said what? Say what now?
Big Watch Dude.
Oh,
said,
so let me grab this one. So you saying the native people of Mexico, they pretty much treat us very well. They're very kind uh, and respectful to us on a daily basis.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. So for the most part, that's that. You don't really run into
a lot of trouble.
You know. I have some issues with certain people because I'm a big black man. You know, and it's always
they are not used
to
well-to-do black people. I'm going to tell you that Mexicans are not used to that. They're used to white people being well-to-do. They're not used to black people being well-to-do. So they create narratives that aren't necessarily true.
And I'm gonna tell you because I have two sons who play basketball, and I'm a coach of the team. I have a lot of trouble with the referees. Mexican referees give me hell, and you know I'm arguing with them and this and that.
I just think the boys excel in basketball and they try to do whatever they can to keep the points down. But that's neither here nor there.
It's not that.
But the daily operation, we do live in. We live in rural Mexico. So Mexico is not like the United States where you have the city, the suburbs, and the country. It's either city or country. That's it. And there's only a few city points in Mexico, as big as the country is. So we have fresh markets. The food is organic. They're not allowed to have GMOs here, at least not in the country part. So we do have to go grocery shopping every day. There are a lot of choices and trade-offs and conveniences that I don't get to experience. For instance, you guys can order something from Amazon 7:00 in the morning and be at your house by 7:00 that evening.
Yeah.
Amazon for us, no matter when you order it, takes almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But they do deliver right to our back door, so I'm glad that we get Amazon. I won't complain about that. But like, I can't get my eyebrows done, just stuff that women are used to being able to do. I can't get my hair done. I have to do my own hair because Mexicans don't know how to do black hair. They don't know how to do extensions and stuff like that. And I hate to say this, but like I walk around town all the time. I don't see anybody's hair done. So I'm not sure what the ability of the of the salons here. They finally found a barber that can cut black hair and do it to their liking, but it's not the same as going to a black barber. So you don't know our story, but I'm going to tell you very quickly, Big Watch.
But I'm going to tell you one thing too. You can't get a pair of shoes
past size like what, 10?
10, yeah. So I
Yeah,
got to
there are
order
smaller
shoes.
people
I have to order shoes
from the U.S.
on the U.S. online. They're gonna give you $70
They're not
shipping.
tall and they're smaller. I'm bigger than a lot of the men.
Yeah, you can't get
in
a size.
height.
You can't get a size 13.
I think I'm 5'5".
I need a size 13, and then nobody has it
Nobody has that
anywhere.
So I order his shoes from the United States, Amazon obviously, or Nike, because Nike delivers all over the world.
Nike.com, yeah.
So so you have your choices and trade-offs, but what you don't know, Big Watch Dude, is the idea was for us to live off 20% of our income and invest 80% of it. So there were a lot of choices and trade-offs that we had to make in order to make that work for us. So we can sit on here now and look at you and be like, Bitcoin 72,000 US dollars, but it's 1.2 million in Mexican pesos.
Yes,
It was worth it.
it's worth it, yeah.
Right? It was absolutely worth the trade-offs of not having different conveniences that I was used to in the US. Sitting pretty here now. I gotta do my own hair, big deal.
Yeah.
Right. Big Watch Dude said we're doing great work, by the way. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jake Fever, he just got 20,000 off today. Tell Garland I like this fool's gold. We are all sitting pretty with the fool's gold, Jake Fever. Will 45 said, hey, oh, thank you, baby. Sorry. This means mommy's taking too long and he's ready to play. Jake Fever, they say, a fool and his money shall soon part. That's Proverbs.
That's Proverbs right
Don't
there.
be a fool. However, Jake is no fool when it comes to money. Let me make that clear. Okay? Garland, I don't know if you're here to troll us, right? If you don't like Bitcoin, I'm not really sure what you're doing here. If you want to learn more about it, then
so what did Garland say?
More about it. He said a fool and his money shall soon part.
Oh, okay.
But Jake is no fool with money. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Neither.
He wasn't talking to us.
Okay.
Pat Murphy said, girl, you are so smart. Thank you, Pat Murphy. I try.
What about me, Pat Murphy?
My husband is offended, Pat Murphy. No, I'm just joking.
I know something. I know a little something.
But you guys are letting Garland come in the chat room and distract you. And that's exactly what we're talking about with the distractions, right? If Garland doesn't believe in Bitcoin, let the dead bury the dead. That's also biblical, right? If that's not what his deal is, if he likes Ripple or some of the Tether coins, now keep in mind that Tether coins go nowhere without Bitcoin. So Bitcoin being up, you have to.
Because I can't see it, but who's Garland? What is he talking about?
Garland said that Bitcoin is fool's gold. I said that already.
Don't believe.
But don't. We're gonna get distracted.
So Garland's a shit coiner. Is that what it is? Or Garland, are you a shit coiner?
I don't know. Urban Alien 247 said Mexico is a beautiful place. It absolutely is, but so is El Salvador, for those of you who haven't been. BK Crypto, boom. Glad BK Crypto's in the room. Family, BK Crypto is also one of our content cousins, just like Jake Fever.
Ruel's in the building.
I'm going to get to Ruel in just a second.
He's in the building.
But BK Crypto has crypto swag. And if there's ever a time to wear your swag, it is when Bitcoin is flying through the ceiling, y'all. You guys go in the drop down, support your content cousin. He's got a great website. We are not sponsored by them. There is no agenda or anything like that, with the exception of the Simon family encourage you to support your content cousins. BK Crypto also has a crypto education group. I do believe that some of the proceeds from the crypto swagware that you guys purchase goes towards this education group. So we absolutely want to support that because he is able to orange pill those we do not have access to. Yep. So BK Crypto, we want to thank you for joining us. We thank you for your work in the crypto space. And you guys support your content cousin and get that swag. Urban Alien 247 has been to Cabo San Lucas. Ruel Black, our content cousin. Check out Ruel's show. You guys subscribe, like, and share his content. He does a lot of incredible work. I'm not sure at what point he came on today, but he would have loved my little metaphysical, my metaphysical analogy for Bitcoin today. He said, got it. So they treat Simon like he's a pusher. Oh, because we have paper, so they think we're drug dealers.
Oh, they sure do. I don't even mind if they
They
treat
don't
me
care.
like
I
that.
don't care because it's not true. We don't care. For your soul, Nance. Thank you so much for joining for your soul, Nance. For your soul, Nance has been buying Bitcoin miners because Bitcoin is so expensive. So are you mining it? Is that like a new project you're taking on? If you could just tell us a little bit more for your soul, Nance. Oh, Pat Murphy said your hair is lovely, girl. I
Hey,
did the
what
front
about
part.
Pat Murphy? What about me?
But the
What
back is a
about
hot
me?
mess because I didn't have time. I had meetings and stuff. I didn't have time, so I only did this part.
Show me some love, Pat Murphy.
I'm
Come
hiding
on,
the
man.
back. It needs to be flat iron so bad.
So I want some love. Show me some love, Pat Murphy.
How did you guys end up in Mexico? So, in 2017, that's when Simon had Pat Murphy.
Oh, Pat Murphy, how we in the Mexico?
Simon decided that this is what he wants to do. He had the vision, like, look, this is before Bitcoin went to 3,000 though. He had the idea, like, I think if we really get in this thing, this would be our come up. Right? You'll never buy a lotto ticket again. This would be your come up. And we formulated this plan. We needed to come to Mexico though because we still had elderly parents in Florida and in Cincinnati. So we wanted to move out the country to get the arbitrage of the two currencies. And at the time, I think the peso was like 21, 22 to $1.
Yeah,
So
well, because my initial
was
Ecuador. Initially, we were going to move to Ecuador. But like she said, we have elderly parents. So we wanted to be in a place where we can get home in one day, right? Boom, something happens. You get home in one day. And so she said, can we do Mexico?
yeah,
So then I flipped it and did the research on Mexico. And I said, all right.
that worked out great.
Yeah. And I said, we can do that.
And my father did pass away.
Yeah.
And his mother did pass away.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we picked Mexico. But it's a place where, again, we have 4 children. We're not a blended family. I gave my husband 4 sons. And you want to aggressively invest without disrupting everyday life for the family. So we already moved them from their friends. We didn't want them to have to like sacrifice and eat beans. And so it was a way where we could comfortably live off of 20% of the income that we generate and invest the 80%.
Yep.
And now we're sitting pretty. So,
And then now, as they've been here, as long as they have been here, they've built their own lives. You know, our eldest son, he's got a girlfriend for about a year.
Basketball.
They playing basketball. They getting busy over
They
here.
got lives.
They got lives over there.
We just finance those lives. Yeah. Big Wash Dude says, sounds like a business opportunity for hair care. Maybe, but that's not my wheelhouse. I would do my own hair. I won't do anybody else's. Plus, y'all see hubby got me doing the podcast. We do consultations.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of other stuff. I do have an actual career. So I don't know about it's a business opportunity for sure, but I'm the only Black woman for at least I don't know how many hundreds of miles.
Yeah, I ain't seen
so maybe not, right? And like I said, we roll through town every single day. I don't see anybody's hair done at all, just mine. Urban Alien 247, never thought of that deep. Not sure what we mentioned that you never thought of, but I'm glad that we've inspired you. Jake Fever. Did 4 Year Soul say that Bitcoin's expensive? And I missed that?
Somebody said that, but
that it was expensive. He said you can buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. It's not so expensive. You can what we call dollar cost average it. So if you're new to the space and you feel overwhelmed because you think you have to buy the Bitcoin at $72,000, that's not how it works, right? So what you would typically do, especially starting off, is you would create a budget of how much per month that you can invest into Bitcoin and then kind of buy it that way. So maybe if you did it weekly or every 2 weeks when you got your paycheck or once a month, that is dollar cost averaging. So if you said, I have $400 that I can put into Bitcoin every single month, right? And maybe you say every Friday, I'm going to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. I'm going to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin.
And you got to know the platforms, you know, because I mean, like you said, we're not Cash App, but you have to do it yourself. Go and make the purchase yourself. With something like Swan Bitcoin, They'll just take the money out of your account and purchase the Bitcoin for you.
Yes.
And put it into a wallet.
Right. And then you can keep track of that. Their customer service is excellent. If you have any questions, if you have any issues, if you have trouble, Reed Womack is going to email you, and his response time is absolutely incredible. So for your soul, if you were trying to get into Bitcoin and you had questions about it, you can contact us. If you go on the drop down, it's assets.arbitrage. Again, you guys, somebody hacked my freaking business mailbox. So right now we have a standing mailbox for you guys to message us. It's assets.arbitrage@gmail.com. Just copy and paste it. Send us an email and we can show you how to get started. We do not sell anything for you newbies on here. Simon and I do not sell anything. We do not do MLM. We don't sell anything. We are not financial advisors. We do not give financial advice, but we can help you pick out which platform will work best for you so that you can get started, because we want to see everyone win. And as the first family of Bitcoin, everybody's family to us.
Yeah, and we're OGs in the game. We didn't just pop in, and and get running on this. We've been in the game. We've been in the game.
Big Watch Dude said, "Hey, Ruel Black, shout out content cousin. He seen you on Max's show. Please keep up the good work." So, Ru, we thank you for your work as well. And as you can see, people in the chat are also very grateful for the work that you do. Angela Pate Grisby. Hi, Angie, tell Chief that XRP is running, and Jake Fever said, "Good job, Chief," because Chief's been talking about XRP. Angie is
Chief.
She's fam. She's real family, right?
Chief.
That's the Chief's wife.
Yeah,
so
that's the Chief's
everybody
wife.
say hi, Angie.
What's up, Chief? What's up, Angie?
Casper
We love
Cooper,
y'all.
salute
love
Wealth
y'all.
Stewards.
I love you.
Okay,
guys.
Garland said he's not trolling. Okay, good. You know Bitcoiners are extremely serious about the Bitcoin stuff, so don't play with them. Don't even make jokey comments. But Garland, if you want to have a good conversation, go ahead and email me so we can set up a FaceTime and we can talk about your apprehensions for Bitcoin. Oh, the Chief is in the room. Y'all everybody say what up to the Chief.
What's up, Chief?
The trolls are active.
What did he say?
I don't think he said the trolls are active, but Jake wanted to shout you out, Chief, with XRP. So, BK Crypto said y'all making Black look good. Thank goodness, because let me tell you, BK Crypto, I be out here talking to these other people, and sometimes I feel so embarrassed to be a Black woman with all of the horrible narratives out there. Right? I don't even be wanting to speak up because I'm like, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of people emailing me or putting their little comments and stuff in there, because the narrative has just gotten so bad that we look bad in the space. Okay, Garland, just giving information up to y'all. Do what you do with it, and vice versa, love. No worries. Urban Alien 247. If you're not invested in crypto, blockchain, tech, I feel bad for you. Jake Fever said, "Pay Murphy is a dope name." That's funny. Tawana Miles said, "Is anyone going to the Bitcoin conference in Nashville this summer?" I don't know if any of the content cousins, y'all going to the conference in Nashville this summer. Let us know. Type it in the chat. Garland said he's not trying to be a distraction, y'all. Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Nashville, huh?
BK Crypto said it's all love.
Can we get flued in? Can we get flued in?
I'm always trying to get flued in somewhere.
Yeah, let me get flued in.
Okay, so for your soul, Nance kind of cleaned it up for me. It looks like miners like Clean Spark, Mara, Riot stocks. So is that something you're trying to get into? Is that something you're working on? Ruel Black missed the medical physical breakdown. You have to watch replay. Yeah, Ru, I mean, I was just kind of telling them about tapping into the energy of abundance that Bitcoin offers. Right? Yeah. Everybody talks about the ultimate scarcity, which makes it valuable at 21 million. Yes, yes, yes. But when you break down as divisibility, it takes 100 million Satoshis to create one Bitcoin. And that's where the prosperity lies. That's where the energy of the prosperity lies. The way that it performs on that chart, right? If you took that chart and overlaid it over an EKG, this person is so alive, it's not funny. This person is very alive. This heart is beating and blood is spurting everywhere. So just telling them, just connecting with something that has that type of energy. Mm-hmm. When we eat fruit, I told them, Rue, that, one apple can have up to 15 seeds, right? Usually has between maybe 6 to 8, but one apple can have up to 15 seeds is what they say online. And those aren't 15 new apples, those are 15 new trees. And the word says, right? Man can count the seeds inside the apple, but only God can count the harvest.
Yeah.
So every day, all day long, God is trying to find ways for you to have abundance. When I look at my sons, the way their hair grows, right? The abundance and how much hair grows on your head, on your body. Like, you are in abundance all day long, but the elites try to program you to be lack, to have that lack mindset, and that everything's in scarcity. We were telling them, Rue, that in Singapore, people are living in cages because they couldn't find anywhere to live, but only 3% of the land in Singapore is developed. So they're forcing scarcity, they're manipulating the scarcity of it. BlackRock is doing the same thing in the United States. I don't know if y'all know that. They're buying up all of the real estate. What I say, they got all the assets and they give y'all all the promissory notes.
Well, and like
And then they're booming up the market.
yeah, and they're doing that, but just the way the United States is set up, if you look it up, you can check it out online. Only about 4% of the United States is I guess inhabited.
Yeah.
96%.
Like the middle part, like all the flat states and
yeah,
stuff like that.
96% of the United States, nobody lives there.
And look at the real estate in New York
Yeah.
City, right? They have it like that. They give you all this wishy-washy reasons to why a one-bedroom apartment should be, $26,000 a month. It's ridiculous. And it's they talk about like market scarcity and prime real estate and and this and that, and they make all of these lies up when you really live in a world full of abundance.
And like the United States, it's hollowed out because if you think about it, everybody lives on the East Coast down to the South, Florida,
In Texas.
a little bit in the South, Texas, and then come up coast in California.
And that's it.
And it's hollowed out. The middle part of the United States, nobody really lives there.
And even Texas has its cities that have an abundant amount of people. But when you look at the land outside of that,
nobody lives
right?
there.
You don't live, if you live outside of Houston, outside of San Antonio, outside of Dallas, outside of Austin, name another city in Texas where a lot of people live. Right? Nobody lives in Laredo, right? Nobody lives in El Paso. But we're just saying the manipulation of lack and scarcity. But if you really just kind of like took those filters off that they try to force on your eyes, you can see you live in a world of abundance, but you have to keep connecting and tapping into things that are abundant. Y'all eat y'all fruit, eat y'all vegetables, dollar cost average of Bitcoin, buy precious metal. It comes from the earth. I'm a woman, like I said, I take great pride in the ability to give my husband 4 sons, and we've had several losses. We probably would have had 7, 8 children. Maybe 5 or 6, because you can only be pregnant when you can be pregnant. We had the rainbow babies. Yeah. But, I am abundance. So my mindset is very different from a consumer mindset, right? And this is why my husband was able to get the outcomes for us that we have, is because I was willing, I was coachable, I was willing to sacrifice, because he had a vision that I said, I'm not sure, right? Everybody think I just jumped in, yeah, whatever, baby. No. I was apprehensive. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I trust you enough to try this experiment with you. I'm willing to be a scientist, right? And it was a lot of tweaking, and we're here at like the hallelujah point. Bitcoin. Yeah, I wasn't there in 2013 when Ami's telling me about it. I said, what the hell is this? Yeah, with a paper wallet. I ruined the paper wallet on the dining room table once.
Yeah, I was sweating when it
and then when it dived in 2017, and we moved our whole family here with the idea that we were going to invest 80% of our income.
And we wanted to give education to people. Here in Mexico.
Orange pill.
Orange pill. It's hard. It's hard because the mindset of some people
is very different. It's very different. Too, we've mentioned this multiple times, but here in Mexico, the technological.
Well, in a small town, I wouldn't say Mexico City, but
Not in
here.
Mexico City, but
Yeah,
here it's
yeah.
very, and here and in other places, right? Because even some parts of Mexico City, they're unbanked. And they don't understand, they don't even understand, using a debit card and electronic banking, much less understand digital banking. So that's a huge stumbling block here.
It is.
Two, the technology isn't available here
Yeah.
for one reason or another. They don't indulge in it, so it's not readily available here. And that's a huge stumbling block.
And here, remittance payments would help if you could send it through Bitcoin, right?
It would help a lot.
It would help a lot because you don't get those charges and
But
fees
they don't.
from
Even some of the phones here, you guys just assume that everybody has like a smartphone, like a Samsung or iPhone. A lot of the residents have, I don't even know what to call it. You know that phone they sell at OXXO? Everybody got those phones.
Yeah.
They still look kind of like, they look like the old school, like Nokia kind of digital pad, but not smartphone pad. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
So I don't know. There's a lot of hurdles that the rest of the world has to kind of jump through to really enjoy. Bukele, I don't understand this. President Bukele, let me put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
President Bukele had to do a lot to make sure that not only was the education in place, but the technology was available everywhere so that he can orange pill them into participating. Other people aren't doing that.
But it will be game theory.
Providing everyone a wallet.
Yeah, game theory. President Bukele, it will act out through Latin America, Central America.
At some point.
At some point. Some point.
So, sorry for your loss. I miss my parents too. Yes, it's just something we all have to go through in life.
Yeah.
Ruel asked, do I like Mexico better than Costa Rica? I'm going to say yes. So Costa Rica for us, and I'm very honest with you guys, that was our failure to launch. Costa Rica was supposed to be what Mexico turned out to be. And this is why I'm telling you guys, like we had our ideas on what we wanted to do there. We picked the wrong part. We ended up in Dominical, which is Bitcoin Beach now.
Now that's
Bitcoin something.
Not beach, because
It's got its own name. But
which is weird because we went there, we lived there, and then we left, and now it's Bitcoin.
It's got its own Bitcoin juncture. I just don't remember the name of it. The island is smaller, so there's no Amazon. I have choices and trade-offs, but help me now. There were a few other things that I said. I kind of like Mexico. Mexico has a bigger city. Not that San Jose isn't big, but Mexico City is obviously bigger than that. And to me, it feels closer to my mother, right? Okay. That's the last parent that we have between the two of us. Yeah. So I'm home in 2.5 hours. Time change or not, I'm home in 2.5 hour flight.
Yeah, because especially like Dominical, that was a 4-hour ride.
Yeah, and we were like on the West Coast, so I already work in multiple time zones. Simon also works in 2 or 3 different time zones. So it was just, the kids were doing school. It's still dark outside. This was just to me, this was better. But Costa Rica gave us the lesson plan on what to do next time. And that's why I said failure to me is an incredible, crucial aspect of anything that you're doing. If you don't look at failure as a negative thing, you have to look at failure as part of your success. It's critical to your success. It's the only way you're going to get the success. It's through failure in this dimension anyway. So we do look at it different. When I say failure to launch, people feel like there was a failure there, and it was like, well, yes, but in Mexico, we already headed to the moon, y'all.
The good thing I will say about Costa Rica is that they were
food was good.
Oh, the food was
good.
Go ahead. All right, you have lots of expat groups that will help you when you get there and help you, show you around.
Yes, they go out of their way.
Yeah, so you have that as you're trying to get get settled. You have that. Here in this small town, there's no expat group.
It's just us.
It's just us. So
the gringo and all of that stuff going.
Yeah, so when we get here, we got to figure it out ourselves,
which is good for us.
That's okay. And we made connections with people, who have impact, or what would you say on the
Yeah,
town?
we make sure that we are staples within the town.
Yeah, because
So the social networking is on a very high level.
Yeah.
You want to meet the mayor. You want to meet the police commissioner, or what they call comandante. You want to be part of the educational system, at least for the sports side. So we know the two owners of the gyms. Those kind of things. That way you get a lot more done, and it don't matter who the president is, don't matter if you're a citizen
we know the owner of the university.
of the universidad.
What's the
Sean is a
university?
professor, he's a teacher. When can you go to another country and they come to you and be like, we want you to work at our establishment?
Right.
So that's important when you guys, and you know we're writing the Life Portfolio series. Again, you guys, we are writing the expanded 5 Flag Theory book
Yeah.
for you. All of this will be in there with detail. But physical social networking is important in a world where people tend to rely on virtual social networking, and you don't understand the power of that physical social networking, right? The shaking of someone's hand, the looking of them in their eye, having some sort of reputation in town. People know you by your name. You don't necessarily know them either, and that's the problem. It's good. It's a curse and it's a blessing.
It's cursing the blessing. They call me the guy with the Thor arms.
No, they don't.
Thor arms.
He calls him the guy with he does that.
I got Thor arms.
But the other thing I want to say is that with Costa Rica, because of the expats, flying through into Costa Rica and flocking to it, it ran the market price up. So in running the market price up, that would have significantly affected our 2080 formula that we came up with, which is when we came to Mexico, we were able to do 2080 for a long time. I think this year was probably the first year that Simon and I kind of loosened up and turned it into, I'm going to say like a 70-30 kind of thing, because inflation is running up. Because, cost of living is increasing, hyperinflation is running away, so on and so forth. We did have to change the model to 30-70.
That's cool.
But the numbers are different. So even though the model now is 30-70, we have significantly more income now than we did when we first started. Obviously, I am 5-6 years ahead in my career, and the amount of capital that I'm able to command, the amount of capital that he's able to command, and some of the things that we do. The 70-30 is it's a better formula, honestly.
It works well. It works very well.
4 years old, Nancy, I want to sell my house and go all in Bitcoin and do what y'all doing. The house is worth $600,000.
Hey, that's
definitely want to do your research if that's what you're going to do.
That's a flip, though.
I don't know if you have a family. I don't know what kind of consideration has to go into doing that.
And you own it outright or something.
And you absolutely need to dollar cost average. It can take you a long time to dollar cost average over $100,000, much less six.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things you want to sit and think about. Every portfolio should be somewhat diversified. I know Bitcoin is a great performer, but is there anything else that?
Yeah, because that would be, that amount of capital, if sold for that amount of capital, the I Trust Capital would be.
You may want to contact them and have a talk with them. They are financial advisors. They can give you financial advice. So you absolutely may want to contact them and tell them what your vision is for your real estate.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Urban Alien 247, all the shoe size differences, because most Mexicans, they're smaller people. I don't like to call them small. They're smaller people. So
what do you say about the shoe size?
The different shoe sizes, but here the shoe size don't go up past, I'm gonna say like a 9.5, 10.
Yeah, it's tough.
Shout out to you, bro. If that's an Invicta, that's all he wear. That's where profits go, y'all. He be trying to talk about me. All his profits go back to Invicta.
No, I got a lot of Invicta watch.
Big Watch Dude said you have great. Oh, Big Watch Dude. That's funny. If you're rocking the Invicta. That's funny. I get it now. I didn't get it before. Is Bitcoin the only crypto you guys invest in? No, we have some other stuff. We have Bitcoin.
I still got Ethereum. I still got XRP. Mm-hmm. We still got
Hedera Hashgraph. What's it called again?
H-bar.
H-bar.
So I got Casper.
I think that's you still got Shiba Inu.
Yeah,
You still got Doge.
Yeah, still got those.
Yeah, so we do
So I
have a
got
few
couple
other
mean
things.
coins. I got. Let me think of some other coins I got.
Somebody said you ain't
Solana.
black if you don't own Bitcoin.
I got Solana.
Solana.
I got all those Cardano.
So Brendan Dominic is echoing your current president, saying you ain't black if you don't own Bitcoin.
Okay, I got a little bit. That's what they say.
He
said that's an investment.
Oh, Chief says send the link. I already know. Oh, send the link. I was so busy reading these and answering them, Chief. Hold on a second.
Come on, Chief.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Come on,
We
Chief.
coming.
Jump
There we
on
go.
in.
Boom. There you go. All right, Chief. You got it.
Come on, Chief.
I
think you got
Angie says she loves us, but she knows we love her first.
Angie.
Angie.
Oh, we love you, Angie. I love you, Angie.
Brendan Dominic said, y'all keep grinding, your show is very homey.
What?
Oh, well, thank you. I hope homey is a good thing. Do you feel like you're at home with us? I hope so. I hope that's what that meant. Why don't y'all move to Dominican Republic? Because the Gini coefficient is extremely high. It's also a lot further than I like.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's a further flight than Mexico is. And because the passport bros travel there so much to find women and sex, they drive the market rate up. Nobody is flying. Nobody wants to live in Ishlawaka de Rayon.
Yeah, and and she's talking about if we go there, I'm gonna be looking at the girls with the BBLs.
You better not.
That's what she meant. See?
You better not. Big watch dude. Thanks, brother. Really appreciate it. That was that rule. Somebody says New Mexico is basically empty. Y'all welcome to Chief. Y'all give it up for Chief.
In Wyoming.
They're still using razor phones. What's up, Colonel? It's nice to see you, Crazy Broxton, aka the Colonel. They're not using razor phones, but it's a weird analog kind of digital phone that a lot of them have. They can download some apps, but not a lot. Oh, that's me. Sorry. Is that my beautiful Angie? Did I just
How do you
see
make
her?
it? How do you make it different?
Somebody said Thor arms.
I do. I got Thor arms. I've been working out.
That's Cousin Rue.
Man, I've been hitting the weights. Man, my arms is crazy.
I love Cousin Rue, but he got terrible taste in pizza.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you now, Chief. What's up? It's so good to see you, Chief. Before you get started, we would like the link to Cigars and Crypto so that there's a lot of
okay.
And we
want them to I'm gonna do another one this week.
Okay. Do you know when?
Nah, not exactly when, but I'll make sure I post y'all. Hold on, let me I gotta go to my channel so that I can give you the link. It's just
there we go.
It's the link to my channel. Hold on, y'all. My bad though. How's everybody doing?
There we go.
There we go. That's the right.
We're good, Chief. We're happy to see you. You know they be looking for you and stuff. But before you talk about Bitcoin or anything else, I do want you to talk about Cigars and Crypto, your last show, and next show we'll definitely have your stuff in the drop down so that they can access you.
Okay.
I just had a question for you. I mean, how did you get into cigars? How did you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh man, damn. Shit, I don't know. Well, it's a couple of cats. You remember? Hold on, Gory. You remember Reggie? That was as a driver for the Eights, right? Reggie Hawker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hooked up with him once or twice and started smoking cigars because he smoked all the time and shit. So, you know, I guess that's where it sparked. But I always liked the smell of cigars. I always like, you know, cigars. What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up, Colonel? Crazy BX.
Big Watch dude. I don't know if you can see his comments, but he said XRP Army, and he gave you the strong.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, good looking out, man. Good looking out. Let me hold on. It's telling me to go live on my channels and shit. Go ahead. All right.
Yeah, because I remember going down. There was a little spot over there, like right across in Newport, and I used to
Yeah,
meet up with Reggie and
yeah,
Mel
that's
Tucker.
yeah, yep. So when I go down to the House of Cigars, Mel be down there most of the time. You know, already added. Okay, man. What's Irv Mitchell?
Oh yeah, Aaron was there too.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so I mean, it's just one of them things, man. I like the smell of cigars.
Okay.
It's just one of them things, man. It's a okay, hold on. What I'm trying to do, I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying
Yep, it's
to.
pairing. It's pairing right now, so they should be able to access the channels. I mean,
Oh,
you
it's
should be able
okay,
to
cool,
Mhm.
cool, because they already added, so it should be automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nah, I like the flow, and then when I'm down there with the brothers and the fellas, we just get up good conversation. And
Yeah.
the week before I did the thing on crypto down there, the crypto and cigars, because you had mentioned it to me before, Gordon, and I was talking to the brothers. They had one. I noticed one of them was talking about Bitcoin, and he was saying what his friend was saying and was telling him to do. So I just started telling them about everything that I know about Bitcoin, about all the rest of the digital assets. And I was letting them know, like, look, if there's something that y'all interested in, because every single person that was there, and it was about 10 brothers there, they was talking about, well, they always saying that the amount that they was talking about was $1,000. Every single one of them was like, I can throw 1,000 at it, throw 1,000 at it. I'm like, well, that's cool. You can throw 1,000, but I would throw 1,000 at the space, not at the
Uh-oh.
maybe I would do 25 to 35% into Bitcoin, and then I would, do the rest of the percentages into tokens that have value. And I said, and then if you want to get, fancy with it, you can do maybe 1% of your portfolio in some type of meme coin, because, the Doge do be popping, and so does the Shiba Inu, it be popping.
Yeah, I still got him.
Yeah, exactly. And I was listening to you when you was talking about Solana. Remember, I told you to put it in, but we was at the top of the market and you grabbed it. I told you about Casper, you grabbed it, and that's cool. But I was trying to get across to the fellas, like, when you doing this, you wanna research. You always do your research. All of y'all out there, most of y'all already know, you always want to do your research on anything that you invest in. This ain't financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Anything we said is for entertainment purposes only. We're just trying to help our people, broader perspective on everything in life. But, I was telling them, like, look, man, I plan on doing a show. And I had talked to Randy about it, because it's always good to get good minds going. That's why, Randy was there. And that's why, I reached out to y'all and we did it. The next one that I do is going to be real soon, most likely this week, but I'm going to structure it. I'm going to be on there no more than an hour, because if you're on there longer than an hour and you don't have any. Yeah,
right,
man.
Chief. It's an hour and 33 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But but we, like, when I'm on there with y'all, we start talking about all kind of stuff. So I'm gonna keep it formatted, and I'm gonna stay on task. So it's all good.
And Chief, you got to tell them too. You got to have a portfolio that is balanced, right, of cryptocurrency only. And so if you get this certain percentage of that, or something else, you have to have it for a balance, like you would have your regular, maybe retirement
portfolio balance. Your life portfolio needs to be balanced.
Exactly.
But and that's a lot of work to just say, how much am I going to spend on this? Am I going to do 25%, 35%? I'm gonna do.
But just start with something, and then you could adjust the numbers like we do as time go on.
But it's a job. It's a job, though.
It's a job.
Responsibility. You don't do it, who's gonna do it?
It's a job.
Now you then who?
It's a job. But one of the good things about this asset class, there's avenues to where you can take control of your own future financially. With this being a nascent asset class, it's just getting started. We are very fortunate to be a part of it because in essence, not in essence, in reality, what we did as retail investors, we front ran the banks. We got in before the banks did. We got in before the world governments did. We got in before all of the home offices did, before BlackRock did. And you know, there's not many times in life to where, in history or life period, where you will have a chance to be a part of something when it's in its infancy or when it was just born. And that's where we are right now. You know, I feel like, you know, Bitcoin and the whole entire asset class is coming out of its infancy. It's going into a toddler stage. Okay. And, you know, when I like to look at things with analogies, we're like the people that's in this live or that's in this. What's up, Jake Fever? The people that's in this live that are invested in whatever digital asset that you're invested in, you are, to be honest with you, you are miles ahead of everyone else in the entire world. And the reason why I say that is because they did a study. There's only anywhere between 4 to 5% of the people on the planet that are invested in cryptocurrency. Okay. And then there's a smaller percentage of that's invested in things to where they do research and they know exactly what they're invested in. So one of the most important things to do is to learn about the space. I give you an example. When I talked to the first lady about it, and she looking at me like, you getting long-winded.
Shout out to the first
she's shaking her head because she know I talk too damn much. But when I got into it, when I first got into it, when y'all finally broke through to me, I talked to the first lady and I was like, look, you know, when it comes to this is new. You know, they got all this overtime going, you know, our little discretionary income, little money that I would buy some beer with or some tequila with or whatever. I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and invest it in something that I know is going to be up and coming. And that was about 6 months after I had got my first meme coin. Okay.
Yeah.
Once I learned and found and started doing research on the companies that had tokens out there for liquidity, like Ripple, which made XRP, and like Stellar, which is basically an offshoot of XRP. And the Overledger Quant. I
still got Quant.
Converting with Quant. I was like, you know, these things are something that is going to be here for a long time. And it's the new iteration of the internet. People don't understand where we are right now. When you hear Web3, we're in Web3 right now. We just got into Web3. We're leaving Web2. We've been past Web1. Web1 was the first internet. Okay, that's all it is. Web2 was when they added things to where you can communicate, like Facebook, which is Meta now. Twitter, that's Web2. Web3 is the what do they call it? The metaverse. But what the real thing of Web3 is going to be the internet of value.
The internet of value.
Yeah, the internet of things, but it's going to be the internet of value. What they're doing, they're working. Yeah, you're right, BK Crypto. They're working on Web 5. We are in the internet of value right now. Okay, we're in the internet of value, and when I say we're in the internet of value, there's going to be a value placed on everything, and all you have to do is just do a slight amount of research. You got your boy Larry Fink from BlackRock. He said that the tokenization of RWAs, real world assets, is what they're doing right now. Right now, as we're speaking, they're tokenizing real estate. They're tokenizing.
So they're trying to front run you that way because they couldn't figure out a way to do this. You know what I'm saying? So then
Yeah,
what
I
I
know what
said
you're
about
saying.
the assets earlier though, that they want to give you the IOUs and they want to try to
Yeah, and they want the assets.
they want the
Let me
assets.
ask you, Percy. I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Chief. When you have these different amount of tokens, how do you like write them down? How do you keep track of them? Where because I forget that I even have this.
Oh yeah,
And
man. You know, you got to utilize your technology. You know, I'm an Apple bug,
that's
so
what I'm saying.
I've been trying to tell you for years, man. Utilize your notes. You know, you can lock notes now. You can have you can password protect notes. You know, I got what I did. I inventoried every token that I own. I know
Mhm.
exactly how many tokens I own. I know exactly how what tokens I own and what they do. I even got it, you know, to the point to where if I need to send somebody some information, I'll list the token, what it does, who it's made by, who it was created by, what it does, and what service or security or thing that it provides.
Now
Okay.
I need to do that. So I have it listed. Obviously, I do old school in the book, but I don't have that extra information. Will
But you know
actually
what? But the funny thing is when you don't have it listed like you do, I know you got it down to the. It's like Christmas. I'll be like, oh, I forgot I had
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
It's like a gift.
you look on something, you might have a software while I'm like, damn, it's up 80%. What the,
Mhm.
you know,
I said,
and
oh,
that's how,
that's good.
yeah. I mean, I looked at, you know, for y'all that's got retirement accounts, all right, look into I Trust Capital, man. I'm telling you. I looked up at my stuff, man. Like I was on the way home, I had to go to Costco, man. I was looking at my stuff, y'all. Shit. I looked at mine, it's like almost 3x from
Life
when
is
I put
good right
money into.
now. That's what I'm trying to tell
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Life is good.
So
We
now,
living in
now it's to the point to where I need to figure out, okay, I got to look at where I bought in because I got a spreadsheet on, you know, like when I first got in, I got in at the top of the markets. I'm gonna keep it real. I got in 2021 and started buying up as much crypto as I could, right? But
Yeah.
that was a bull market. We would the 2021 was a bull market and it was about to end. So and I kept and Gordon, you know, I kept telling you like Simon, I was like, man, I'm late. You know, I was like that one cartoon. I'm late for a very important date. But I was early, and
Mhm.
I did not realize. You're right, BK. BK, I am going to unbank myself, and it's going to come real soon. But I thought I was late, man, because I thought that you know it was. I really didn't know. So now I know. Now I did some research, and I realized that I was early. So I kept what I had, kept dry powder, which is money on the side. And what I did, I was dollar cost averaging with Bitcoin, with Swan Bitcoin. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
shout out to Gordon and Simon Family Investments because he's the one that told me about that.
We
But I
tell
had
everybody about Swan.
every time I got paid, $200 would come out, and it would Swan Bitcoin would convert. Excuse me, would convert it to Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then I knew I had a plan. I knew that I was going to buy one Bitcoin. I knew it was going to be a big pullback because that's the way the markets work.
That's
So
it.
when I was dollar cost averaging Bitcoin, I would let it get up to a certain amount, and then I would convert that to either XRP or something else so that I could
Yeah.
stack my bags because I knew how diversified I wanted to be. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to have liquidity tokens. I wanted to have interoperability tokens. I wanted to have security tokens. And then I wanted to have a small percentage of meme tokens. All right. Because that's one thing that you told me. When I told you what I had, you was like, oh man, oh, you're gonna be a wealthy man. You're already a wealthy man. I was like, well, that's because I was still like kind of unsure. And you out because you had been through a few bull runs. And I was like,
And
man,
some bears, some
yeah,
bear
well,
markets.
yeah. Well, if you go through a bull run, you're going through a bear. You know, you got to go through the bear to get to the bull, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
gets rough. Sometimes it gets rough.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
That bear
I
mauled you.
I knew
I
it
know.
was all sentiment. Okay. So I knew it was all emotional and I knew it was sentiment. Once I took my emotion out and once I realized that I was early to the party, I was standing around in the house party back in the day. Then there wasn't nobody there yet. That's how early we was. You remember those house parties and shit where everybody used to stand up against the wall and shit?
She's waiting
But
for
you
some
know,
girls to come.
Simon.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I was
Oh,
back in
fuck.
the day.
We the
but
girls.
but yeah, you know, it's one of them things, man. You know, I'm having fun with it. It's a beautiful thing. I am so happy
Amen.
that I am a part of this asset class, and I
Amen.
know that the future is going to be bright because when you got wealth managers wanting or tearing down the door to get into this space, you know you're in the right space.
So let me ask. So when you, how do you feel about Bitcoin? Well, and I guess cryptocurrency in general, going above that $1 trillion market cap.
Well, it's back. It's well,
And,
when I
and,
first
and
got in, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when I first got in, I'm getting ready to go to coin market cap right now. But when I first got in, the market cap was $300 trillion. Okay. Now, the last time it was 300, I remember it getting up to 3.4 trillion. The last time it was 300 trillion was the bull cycle. Right now, the total market cap for cryptocurrencies per coin market cap is 2.73 trillion. So we are going into a bull market, or
yeah,
we are right at the prefaces of a bull cycle. Okay, we're right at the beginning. We haven't even gotten to the halving yet. The Bitcoin
yeah,
halving is next month in the middle of the month. The reason why it's popping off so hard is because of the liquidity that's in the space. They throwing so much money at Bitcoin. You know, everybody thought that once BlackRock entered, that it was going to shoot up like a rocket. Well, people weren't thinking about all of the lawsuits that was out there. That Grayscale lawsuit, that
yeah,
Grayscale Trust lawsuit. Once
yeah,
they won that, everybody got their liquidity. They got liquid because they had that in there for about 10 years.
yeah.
So
They did.
they was up and they was taking profits. So it pulled it back a little bit, and then you know it was that, and then the dollar. You know, when the dollar is strong, crypto is going to be down. When the
Yep.
dollar is weak, crypto is going to be high. And when you know little things like that, along with the relative strength index on the charts and all of that, when you know little stuff like that, and you see little things happen, you can kind of tell what's coming at you from down the road.
And
Okay.
I agree with you with that because the dollar and Bitcoin is an inverse correlation, right? So, like you just said, the dollar's down, Bitcoin's up, and it works for us. Sometimes it works against us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, because when the dollar gets weak, then it's weak against the peso. It's crazy, man. But do you think because Bitcoin at its own market cap, um, was surpassing silver,
Silver.
and I know that you
Oh,
invested.
Bitcoin already passed silver.
So what you think about it? So you just leave the silver that you have, and just how would you invest in that ratio?
Shit, I'm still getting silver.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
am too.
it's always a good thing to buy silver. I mean, you don't want to buy it high if you can help it, but the more precious metals you have, the better off you are.
Right.
You know,
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
yeah. So,
I did want to do a quick correction. You said 300 trillion. I know you meant
I
around
thought
3
I
trillion.
said three. I saw that.
Yeah,
I thought I
yeah.
said three.
But I didn't
I
want
thought
to
I said
interrupt you
three.
while you were talking
No, it's
to,
all good. I could have sworn I said 3.1 trillion, and when I looked at it, it was
I think it sounded like
3.4.
300 trillion though. Because I thought
Oh,
I
okay.
heard that too, and I said I didn't
Nah,
want to interrupt
300
them.
trillion. Nah,
That's
we wouldn't have been
large.
able to get in. Shit, I wouldn't
Yeah,
have been able to get in.
large.
If the market cap for crypto is $300 trillion, nah, bro, that's you.
Yeah, that's.
Right.
Well, go ahead and talk to the people in the chat room.
No, I mean, because it was about that.
Oh, okay.
So there's
Yeah,
no need
yeah.
to, I already said it. I said I didn't want to interrupt him for that correction, but we'll mention it when he made his point.
Oh, okay.
Jay Fever said, not true, the dollar is up and Bitcoin is up right now. But Jake, the dollar is not up against soft currencies. It is
Yeah,
weakened
that's the
against
thing.
very soft currencies. So
Yeah.
technically the dollar is not up right at this time.
Right.
And that's
And
yeah.
like we
So
said,
when it's not, so when we're talking about the dollar being up or down, we're talking about it against other assets or against other commodities.
Or
Okay, I'm
current.
not, if I say the dollar is up or is strong, that means it's strong against other currencies that's out there, other
Right, and it's
paper
not.
out there, and it's not right
It's
now.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
It's down. Today is the lowest I've seen it since I've
yeah,
lived in Mexico.
yeah.
Um, 300 trillion equals $7 million Bitcoin. That's why now they're gonna keep riding with the 300 trillion chief. They're just
That's
gonna
fine. I
control
don't
it
care, man.
to
I don't
perpetuity.
care, man. I
Yes, the
thought I
dollar
did
is hot garbage
y'all.
right now, bro. And
Y'all gotta look. It's a real problem if y'all gotta just take shit like that and run with it, man. I
they just
mean,
teasing you. There's no big deal. They tease
y'all,
us
what's
all
wrong with y'all,
day.
man? Y'all
He gonna try to
y'all.
do the math now.
I know.
300
You know what I'm saying? Let me get my calculator out. Goddamn, what I say?
But
It's all good.
yeah, Rue, the dollar, and the thing is that because like I said, we forex trade in real life, you know, I shouldn't even complain about the rent, right? Because we get everything for one price, but
Yeah.
it's not the agreement that I
Yeah,
agreed
well,
to.
because once the dollar moves,
Then it moves, everything else
yeah,
moves.
because the agreement is in pesos. So if the
Yeah.
dollar moves down, then you owe more pesos.
Right, like
And,
no
it's,
lie, our rent
it's
went from like
it's crazy.
$1,200 to $1,600
And
because of the
then
movement.
and and if it goes back up, then
And when it goes back up, then we get our discount again, and we be happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's why we need
It's
Bitcoin in
gonna,
our life.
it's gonna be like that.
yeah.
That's why we need it.
We need Bitcoin in our
All
life.
right, y'all. We're at the 1 hour, 51 minute mark and 10
Yep.
seconds. Grizz,
Yeah.
you guys should now be able to. I don't know if that's anyway. I'm gonna make sure, family, that cigars and crypto will also be in the drop down. Again, you guys need to support your content cousin BK Crypto. Now is the time to start wearing your swag out. Now is the time to start flexing on folks. But get your swag from your content cousin BK Crypto. Again, they do have an education group. I believe a lot of the proceeds or some of the proceeds goes towards that. They are able to access and orange pill those that we don't have access to.
Hey,
Grizz is
send
going
me
to
his
let us.
stuff too, because I don't think I
If you
have.
go on my drop down, Grizz, if you go on my
Okay.
drop down, BK Crypto's website's there. So we definitely want to support him with the swag. Um,
BK Crypto, we want sleeveless hoodies.
he's working on it.
Sleeveless
He's working
hoodies.
on it. Grizz is going to be doing cigar and crypto. As soon as we get the details for the next show, we're going to make sure that the link is available. Grizz, the chief,
Yeah.
is our content cousin. So you absolutely want to support him by
Yeah.
subscribing, liking his content, and sharing it
That's what it
so
is.
that he can have access to an audience that we don't have access to. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to like go out and scout and orange peel and educate as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So we want to
Exactly.
thank all of you guys for joining us. Chief, we were so happy to have you back on. They've been looking for you. They're very excited about cigar and crypto. So, and the elements, the approach that you take to it, especially at the cigar lounge, we love the concept. So we want to kind of help that take
Yeah.
off, and we'll make sure that we advertise at every show, whether you can join us or not.
I appreciate it.
And
Yeah.
make sure, content
Make sure
cousins,
y'all
you
let me
are.
know when y'all going live, man. Because I mean,
Look, this is
just
my boss over here, right? He
yeah.
going
I mean,
live.
he'll do.
We
Let's
going
go
live.
live today. Just send me a link
Right.
so I can
He's like, what's
so I can
Bitcoin?
jump on and holler at y'all. And I appreciate you, Jake Fever. I chief with you. Hey, Grizz, what's up, BK? I'm gonna get some of your stuff too, BK. It's all good. But look, before we go, y'all got to understand. Do your research, okay? Look at these assets for what it is. It's for wealth building. We're in a time in our lives. This is a wonderful time to be alive because we got some stuff that's in front of us that can transport us to the next stage of our life. And when we get to that next stage, we're going to be better off than we was in the last stage. Look at it
Absolutely.
like that, and look at it as something that will help your family. because as long as I can help this lady that's standing behind me, looking at me
We
like
can't see her though.
I know, because I got this virtual background and she
Yeah,
don't
we
want
can't
nobody
see her.
to help, man. But you know, as long as I can make sure that she's all right, and the little man that just went downstairs, little Santana, as long as I make him wealthy, everybody from he gone, he can't see you. He's downstairs.
We got toys though.
I got toys.
We got lots of toys today.
Everybody from him all the way back to us is going to be wealthy. This is something that y'all need to tell y'all friends and family about. A lot of them, the majority of them, over 3/4 of them, are not going to listen. Okay, that's what happens. It happened with me with the firehouse. It happened with people out here talking to them. People who are ready for it will receive it. People who aren't won't. Okay.
You let the dead bury the dead. That's the
Yeah.
end of that.
Yeah.
Big Watch Crypto. I'm sorry, Big Watch Dude. I'm calling him Victor. He wants to know when we're going live again. Big Watch Dude will definitely be live again on Thursday. On Thursday around the same time-ish.
Yeah,
and we really appreciate your support, guys. We're gonna be looking out for Cigar and Crypto. We will keep you guys detailed unless it happens before Thursday. Then I can't let y'all know anything. But Grizz is gonna let us know when it's happening.
People, you got to know that we're 2 hours behind now.
Yeah.
Because the hour changed. So
Yeah.
we try to keep. We try to keep it. Huh?
They don't change it with y'all, right?
No, they don't change it. So like it's 9 for y'all, it's 7 for us.
Yeah, so we.
Okay.
And on days when I gotta work early or whatever, you know, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning online because it's already 6 on the East Coast, and I'm trying to get stuff done.
It sucks, man. I don't know why they do it.
So
but,
it's cool. It's good for the body.
Yeah.
All right, Holloway Fam Bam, you're not too late. I'm glad you hit the like. We appreciate you. There's 62 people in the room right now, and the First Family cannot be more appreciative of your love, your support, your comments. You guys look out for the Life Portfolio series. We are working on the extended 5 flag theory so that you can know what you need to do as far as if you would like to be an expat in another country, if you're trying to see your way up out the United States, see your way out of here, right? See your way out of the United States. But we do have the guide and the manual coming for you. I'm hoping to have that published by the end of April, the beginning of May. And then the book after that is definitely going to be neuroeconomics. So we love y'all. We are going to check you guys out on Thursday.
Chief, stay on with us. So
Okay, I will.
Have a wonderful evening.